And you know what? I'm so excited about my guests from NBC's Found. I think about specifically enough our guests Mark Paul Gosselaar and Shanola Hampton joined the show. Guys, thanks for stopping by. And how are you today?
Thank you. So great. Thanks for
Thanks for
having
having
me.
us.
All right, so
Doing
let's
pretty good.
Shanola,
Thanks.
you tell us about your character first. And I know it's the second season coming up. I got to go catch up on Peacock in the first season because this sounds like a really interesting show.
Yeah, you have to catch up on Peacock. And we already premiered 3 weeks ago. So we're 3 episodes into the second season, which we're really excited about. I played Gabby Mosley, who is a PR specialist looking for people in underserved communities. My character was kidnapped as a child. She had to save herself, and she vowed to never let that be the case for anyone else because no one came to look for her and there was no media coverage. But there's a twist. At the end of the very first episode, you realize that Gabby Mosley kidnapped her kidnapper, played by the some say handsome Mark Paul.
Huh. So, Mark Paul, tell us about your character.
Well, sometimes I'm handsome, sometimes I'm not. It just depends on the lighting of the episode. But yeah, I played her sometimes handsome kidnapper. And it's just my story is less about the procedural and more about her backstory, and this connection that they've had for over 20 years and continue to try to have currently.
All right. So I heard so many people, I saw the numbers and it's unbelievable. And both of you guys can chime in on this about how many people are missing every year. It's scary, isn't it? After you start thinking about it, to know how many people aren't found. What are your thoughts on
It is. It is a number that most people wouldn't even imagine. And what's crazy about it is you don't get to hear about it. And that's what our show is trying to do, is trying to bridge the gap between those who we hear about and those whom we don't. And it's been nice and rewarding to see people start those conversations.
And I think, Mark Paul, that those conversations have to be talked about, especially with child trafficking and all these different things happening right upon us, and the news doesn't cover it. We need to be the sources to bring up these things that happen, especially to children.
Yeah, agreed. For me, with a family of 4 children, it sort of hits home whenever we have stories, and we've had quite a few on our show. They hit home for me, and how sensitive it is and how important it is that we get the word out there.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, I have 6 kids, so I'm beating you, Mark, by 2 more. So there you
Jeez,
go. Yeah,
my
God
goodness,
bless
what
you.
good for you, man. I love it. How old's your oldest and your youngest?
My oldest is 19, my youngest is 5. So I'm a busy person for sure.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
definitely.
Oh man, that's awesome.
So just Mark Paul, I tell you, I'm such a huge fan back in the day of Saved by the Bell. So this is like bringing back memories beyond belief of my childhood watching it. So for sure. So it's
Oh, I
great.
appreciate you.
Yeah,
Thanks for watching.
yeah, absolutely. So guys, what do you think what is your ultimate goal, Shanola, when you look at your character and the show? What do you want this to happen from this?
Another season?
Yeah, another season first, but what about like the overall theme and everything?
Just kidding. No, I'm joking. No, what I really want and what you'll see when you watch the show or when you go back is that everyone in the M&A, the Mosley and Associates, which is where my character works, has built a community of people who all suffered some sort of trauma and what the healing process is. And what I hope to gain by the end of this season is people stopping the judgment on when and what that time frame for healing is. I'd like for them to be able to go through and realize that it looks differently for everyone. And one of the core things that I learned even from shooting this episode is a person is not defined by their biggest mistake. And if we could kind of go through all of that and still entertain at the same time, then I'll be very satisfied.
Mark Paul, same question.
I want a second season, third season. Sorry, I want a third season, and I'm not joking. Let's continue this for as long as we possibly can. I'm really enjoying being on this show. working with these the cast and crew and creating some really fascinating television that I think is super important to be out there.
All right, everyone needs to catch up on the Peacock app and check it out. I subscribe to Peacock, love it. Check out season 2 on Thursdays on NBC at 10 p.m. Eastern, and catch up on Peacock for season 1. Appreciate it, guys, and thanks for stopping by.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. You're listening and watching The Neil Haley Show, and we'll be back in just a moment.